Okay, so I'm taking. Sorry, hi everyone. This is Jay. I'm taking the advantage of being in the garden being in the garden on this rainy day, and I adore the rain. I adore storms, hail, thunder, snow, the whole thing. So I just thought that I'd take this opportunity to walk you out with me to to the garden and have a little word with you regarding a a subject that some of you might already know about. So I'll take a little seat and yeah, so suppose some of you might know this already, and others may. Sorry, I'll start again. Some of you may know a lot about this already, and some of you may not. But what I want to, and I've been thinking about making this video for quite a while, and I was out this morning, and I met a lady, and I was actually buying small incense and small candles, and I was having a very pleasant conversation with the lady. Nothing to do with what I'm going to mention to you, but it was on the way back from her shop that the feeling to make this video grew stronger. So I'm going to share something with you. There is a book. Gosh, if I say there is a magic book, there is a book, and within this book, there are very real, strong incantations, anything and everything to do with magic. Now, please don't start thinking that it's to do with black magic or voodoo. That would just be underestimating what I'm about to say to you or share with you. And again, some of you may already know this. There is a book that many people are beginning to wake up to, and quite a few people have already in their possession and are already using. And the only reason why I'm telling you this is because, again, someone told me about a situation that he had many years ago with his wife, who is a professional in the psychiatric mental health industry, and she uses this book, and she uses this book in order to, as people do, if they're going through a bad patch, they will use whatever it is that they have or can get hold of to make their situation better. So this particular lady, who is a learned person, uses this book. I'm not going to tell you what the name of this book is. In fact, I've actually forgotten what the name of this book is. But if you are from the Caribbean, you might know the name of this book. And a friend of mine who had a meeting with someone, this is going back quite a few years ago, with someone at the Freemasons Lodge in London. she had an interview there, or she went there to do some research. And at the time, when she was walking towards the office of where this person was located, there were a number of books in the hallway, and she had noticed that a number of them were from other continents, and the books that she had noticed were from Africa, and the books dealt with occult and other such similar things. So she mentioned this to me a couple of years ago, and I had said to her that I had also been to the Freemasons Lodge in London on a number of occasions, and I saw the books at the time. I saw a number of books placed along a corridor, like a main corridor, from the reception area through into so the outer circle of the Freemasons. But I looked at them. They were very old, bound. They looked like archive books, but I didn't take any notice of what the titles were, because most of the books looked really well read, and much of the titles were a bit worn away. And I really didn't want to concentrate on the books that were lined in the hallway. I was actually looking to speak with someone. And anyway, getting back to, but that's another story about the Freemasons and the lodge. Getting back to what I want to tell you about regarding this particular book, I can't remember the name of it. And actually, if I don't want to say what the name is, because if I tell you what the name is, some of you might go out and actually purchase this book and start using it. This book, and I've had this from a handful of sources that know about this book and how this book works, and how the people that use this book, what they use it for, and how it affects others when they use this on other people. This book is very, very powerful. This book is a really powerful magic book, not to be treated lightly or tampered with. You need to know what you're doing. When you enter into using this book, you open up a Pandora's box of anything and everything. And many people have been opening up many Pandora boxes of anything and everything without realizing it. This book has the potential to really destroy people, to really turn events around for the benefit of the person using this magic. But when you use this book, or whoever uses this book and the magic contained within it, it takes away a part of you, and it can rebound on you. There is a colleague of mine that I attend my Ascension group with in London, and he has said to me that he was married to this particular lady. Like I said, she is a very learned person in the mental health and psychiatric sector in London, and she was causing him all kinds of problems, and he went through the gamut of what you might euphemistically called bad luck. Everything. Made homeless, lost absolutely everything. His house, everything was just against him, and he was having some serious nightmares and things around him. He was able, he now is a fairly strong spiritual person, and he sees and he senses things in a very acute way. But his wife was really using this magic against him, to the point where one instance, she was in a room with him, and she said whatever she had to say, these specific words, and things started to appear, and he could see these things, and he said it was frightening, and he, knowing what she was doing, he counteracted that. I mean, he also used the book against her, so he counteracted that, and it counteracted whatever his wife was doing to him in this room. She manifested something not very nice, and he used the magic against her, and it killed this thing. I need to tell you, this is real. This is absolutely real, and people are using this book and this magic in for the most simplest of reasons, and at the core of it is greed and wanting things, and using this magic on people, on unsuspecting people who are going about their daily business, and this magic is being used on them to attain from these people their wealth, their whatever positivity, whatever is going good in their life. People are using magic to take all these things away from them so that they can harness it and use it in their life. But really, I really must stress that it can backfire on you, and you really can end up in a really rough, wrong place that you don't want to be in, yet you've placed other people in, and you are in that place tenfold. And the thing with this book and this magic is that once you've started and you let yourself go to it, once you've opened up that Pandora's box of the unmentionable, it takes a part of you. You become integrated in it and with it, and it's hard to stop. And you will use it for anything and everything in your daily life. I have no idea if this video is going to turn out well, or if you can hear me well on it. I just actually wanted to get out of the house and share this with you in the garden on this beautiful rainy day. I'm not sure what else to tell you. I just feel that I should warn you. It's not the right phrase, but I just feel that you should know that there are people out there who have this book and who are not only using it on their own family members through jealousy, but are using it on complete strangers. So, people can laugh and look at films like Harry Potter and look at the stories on magic with lightheartedness and comedy and fantasy, but underneath all of that lies the reality of magic. And I use the word magic very lightly. Magic is not the word that really encompasses the strength of words and how you use certain words and certain incantations. It has a most profound effect on the person using it, on the person on the receiving end. And the thing is, you might not even know that you're on the receiving end of it, but you could be going through some really bad situations. And most people don't want to acknowledge that there is anything called magic, or that all that spiritual things actually exist, and they do. And the more blind you are to it, the more of a victim that you become of it. Gosh, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to say too much, and I don't want to say too little, but I just need to make anyone who's listening to this, I just need to make you aware that there are people out there, and there is. I only know of this one book, but there are many, along a similar lines. But this book is being used by people. I don't even know if it's in print still. I mean, it must still be, because people are still able to get hold of it. Or but secret societies, they definitely have this book. And any other book, all the books regarding the occult, they have and they use. And there was a lady, when I was a child growing up in London, there was a lady that came to my parents' house, and my mother was very aware of spirituality and the supernatural. But my father he knew of it himself, but he didn't want me to know of it, because he didn't want the reality of it to affect me. But my mother was very much aware of it, and she would do things, or if she knew of someone from the Caribbean who could counteract anything negative happening on her family, she would use. So there was a lady that happened to visit London, and she said to my mother, and there was my aunt was also there, or what I call my aunt, but she was a very close friend of my mother's. She said that the UK is absolutely drenched in magic. She landed in the country, and she just started seeing and feeling things, and she said it was all around the country. It was, there were entities, all kinds of things, walking along beside people, vortices whirling around people, places, along streets, along roads. The entire country is like an occult cauldron. And so when people start talking about Stonehenge and circles and stones and sacred places and lines, these things are real, and those that can see and sense it know that it's real, and they're very aware of it, and they know how powerful it can be. And there are people, again, who can use these things, use stones, use the meridians, use the ley lines for bad. I mean, it really is up to the individual. If you're a bad person with bad thoughts, or you want things, or you're angry with someone or something, you will use at your disposal what is already there. It's purely down to the individual and the intent of the individual, and how far they want to take that intent to be realized in their reality. And the more people that open up all these Pandora boxes, the more unstable, the more things begin to affect, and the balance begins to become warped. So this is why I think there are a number of people who are being awakened and enlightened and empowered by spirituality. They begin to sorry, I had to break just then. I had to deal with something. Anyway, there's not much to say, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Those that know. Those that don't know, you need to know. You don't necessarily need to do anything about it, but you just need to know. And yes, and I mentioned the word zombie, but I see words can be so limiting. What I mean is that people who just walk around blind to everything. It's as though they are unable to see the wood for the trees. Just realize that this is real, and there are a number. It amazes me where I visit a shop. It could be a supermarket, or usually it's the place where I buy candles or incense from, or oils, and there's just a moment where I connect with someone and they tell me a story regarding this book and the people using this book. So it's though I'm being made aware that these things happen. Why I'm being made aware of this book, I have no idea. It must mean something. But I've just met people who have been on the receiving end of this, and they've pulled through it, and they have, in their story to me, told me what they did and give me some great advice, and some tips on how to protect myself. Yeah, I met this wonderful elderly man in Islington. Must be about 4 years ago. I was at a shop there buying something, and the shop was closed, and I was waiting. The chap had gone to lunch, and I was just waiting on the pavement outside on the very busy main road. And this elderly man came along, and he looked a bit strange, and he wanted to know why I was there and what was my issue. And I just took a bit of an offence to a complete stranger wanting to know what I was doing and wanting to, get into the shop. And then he probably realised that he approached me in the wrong way, or in a way that wasn't conducive to a conversation. But he then started to tell me about his situation, and how his own family members had used this particular book on him. And I think it was, and even his mother knew about it, and she did nothing against, to help him. But I think he said when his mother had died on her deathbed, she gave him some valuable information to help him, because he was going through a traumatic time. So all these stories that I've encountered with people and their experiences have made me grow in my knowledge and awareness of what is actually happening right now. And if you consider that people knew about this book and was using this book 20, 30, 40 years ago, there are a lot of people out there who are using this book and have already opened up, like I said before, a number of Pandora boxes against members of their own family, their colleagues, their acquaintances, their workplace. I mean, everyone and anyone. They've used it because, and mainly for greed. They want, and they will do whatever it takes to get to that want. And maybe there are some people who are extremely wealthy out there who have used this book in order for them to get to where they are now, in a very affluent lifestyle. But as I said, this can backfire on you, and when it backfires hard. So I just wanted to share this with you. So when I said the word zombie, what I really meant was people who are just walking along blindly and not being aware, or rejecting that there's any such thing as spirituality, or magic, because the word doesn't compute in their everyday life. But people are using, and I said the word magic very lightly, but I hope you know what I mean. People are using magic in the here and now daily. And even if you're a believer in God, there are powerful psalms which are magical. There are psalms that can be used to help you, or depending on where your point of view is and depending what your intention is, to help you and to harm other people. It depends on what you want to use the psalms for. But the psalms are words, and these words are magic, and they're powerful. And in the Vatican, they have a number of books which are magical and powerful. God, these books are everywhere, and there, as I said before, there are societies that have copies of these books, and the highest the highest hierarchy in these societies use these books and incantations. Call them what you want: incantations, words, rhymes, poetry, psalms. They use this, and there are people that are being paid to say these incantations every day without fail, and also at ceremonies with the full moon and the new moon. So they use whatever they have to use in order to do whatever it is that they need to do, and it is having an effect on the masses, which is why I strongly believe that there are a number of people who are awakening spiritually to what's going on, and they are wanting answers because it's frightening for them, and they're not sure why they're looking for answers in the spirit world or in their own spirituality growth. But people are awakening to this, and they're trying to do something about it. And a lot of people are being married to or have relationships with people who are non-believers, and this can have an effect on you. You're trying to get yourself going, get you started on your new journey in spirituality, and then you go home and there's someone there who's always negating or saying you're talking nonsense, or who's an absolute non-believer in anything and everything that you're trying to do. So this can also have an effect on you with your own particular growth. So I say keep on at it. Don't walk away from it. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Learn what it is that you need to learn. Research, contact people, see videos, read books, go to where you're led. And if you haven't already joined an ascension group, because this is a lot of where my information comes from. People that have been experiencing these things, and they share. And you're forewarned, and you help with the solution, and you grow stronger spiritually. So if you haven't already joined an ascension group, I strongly suggest that you do. And it has to be, as I said before, it has to be held by someone who is very strong spiritually, a medium with strong skills with the spirit world, someone who has a really comprehensive overview and life experience with spirituality. So yeah. So I think that you should try and do this. I'm going to have to go now, but I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.